work over in the marquee as well. So we'll split into 3 groups. Okay, so what I'm looking for you is somebody who's brave enough to pop a question up there, share a little discussion and report back. Once all these spaces are filled up, you can then decide which ones you want to go to, and then we'll move into those areas. Does anybody have any questions? Does that make sense? Excellent.
I have a question.
Yes?
Trying to summarise it slightly, but in the present economic environment, with cuts everywhere looming, how does CSEC achieve funding moving forward?
Interesting.
Just basically with that, because there are many sources of funding, whether that be... No, you haven't seen my writing. Many sources of funding, and I think it's very important for us to all discuss this, because it's in all of our interests. That discussion point is the survivability at the end of the day of CSEC. And whether those funds come through their present sources, or whether those funds are as a result of commercial enterprise and opportunity, and I think all of those need to be looked into, if for nothing other than contingency.
What I'll do is I'll give you a little bit of time. That's an excellent question, which I'll get you to add up in the next handwriting. All right, or you can, I'll summarise it for you and fill it up. So if you're happy to share that discussion, that would be a very interesting one. I'll give you a little bit of time just to talk in amongst yourselves, and just come out, pick up, there's a pen sticking to the wall up the back, there's a pen down here, just write it up yourselves, put your name at the bottom, okay? I'll give you 3 minutes before I make people come up with No, well, that was fine. So the future financial models
Funding, financial
but a lot of people work with, I don't know if they even know what's the or whatever, but when I was just asking the question of how much our membership was, so I did ask that because I don't deal with all that side. So it's free. Yeah.
This is membership.
We're kind of good. It's a great network. They come along and get some good ideas, like you have, I assume, as well. So I'm quite happy to now work in facts and figures, go out and spread the word and get those people involved. I think a lot of them, knowing it's free, will be quite happy to come along. My worry was that if it wasn't, and it was a hefty subscription, that say people like the police, who I know at the moment are struggling with funding, would probably say, well, we just can't at the moment. Whereas now they've not got any reason really not to join in. So I will, now be able to go out to these events and we'll work with many different people and obviously spread the word.
I don't think there's an organisation that isn't going to be struggling with funding, is
well,
there?
Exactly,
so it applies to everybody.
It's not a list of their locations, just merely their organisation names and contact names.
So we did hear that there's areas of the country where people are, where we don't have a membership from.
There was a lot of around rural areas, southwest, Norfolk.
There was a map at the last meeting where they got
with the red dots all over.
With the red dots everywhere. It got really confusing, but
you want us to be confused as well, do you?
It's actually been done, so you can see the dots.
No, John's got it.
It is literally.
He might have it on his laptop.
It's literally the conurbation Manchester, sort of to whole area, Birmingham and London, pretty much, and a lot of the rural areas outside that. And obviously that just hits where the headquarters are, where the office is based.
So
It doesn't map the actual coverage.
But we cover that entire area.
Is that to do with where CSEC coordinators are based as well, and sort of, is that to do with areas where the word is spread, or is it to do with interest? Do you know?
Yeah, I suppose you can say Birmingham. Well, we've got coordinators in Birmingham and in North and in London, so it is kind of the map of where they're based as well.
Yeah.
And of course, when you get interest from a couple of organisations, it's all very connected local organisations, so you get to roll on. So Birmingham, we've got quite a few, Nottingham, we've got quite a few.
And actually, that makes people like myself feel even more isolated,
Yeah.
because
Are there any schools that are members?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll
There are a few.
Where's it, Cassie? So
There is a map.
Heartlands is a member.
That's where CSEC membership
Am I on my
comes from.
Actually, in fact, our very first member.
Never mind, you're nearly.
Solid Air. I'm not sure where they're based.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah, it's criminalism.
meant to be in
There's
Saltash.
probably a
I
small
know you're in
handful
Bristol, but
of schools.
There isn't any significant school organisations. There isn't like any teaching unions or anything.
That's the big thing, isn't it, I think? It's where you're representative for the teachers.
There is the Parents Teachers Association though, isn't it? That's a national organisation who sets up parent-teacher fundraising in schools.
Yeah.
So there's an organisation that ought to be.
But
I mean,
I don't know if they're
and within
member.
each county there are people like the Association of Secondary Heads and Primary Heads. I mean, maybe those.
But the links into subject associations, because you think about like
Yeah.
science education, but also like my field within geography education, because the issues scale up, don't they, quite nicely. So the teaching.
I think that's the only
Yeah, we have the
PHSE
association.
and
But yeah, we don't. So that's the only national kind of recognised body.
Do you have any other electricity distribution companies then? I mean, EDF or stuff like, am I the only one? Because obviously we've got there's quite a few others. We only do East and West Midlands. What about the rest of the UK?
There's,
And they're not.
Apart from the electrical safety council.
Yeah, what's his
They're not a distribution company. That's right. But yeah.
I mean-
like Western Power have got dedicated safety manager, education safety
Sharon.
manager.
Yeah. So they
They're not-
whatever her name is,
Of
I
course.
can't remember.
They're all
Yes,
doing
that's
the
one.
same thing we're doing. But
It's like with that. So if you want them to be a member, like, could you help to bring them in?
the problem is with that, we don't have any dealings with other DNOs because it is. I don't know why it seems to be competitive because it can't be because they're one area, we're another. There's no crossover. We can't think of the business, but it's straight away. It's that business separation.
Or if say Andy or or because Western Power is, I don't know how far down does that.
Yeah, we get Western Power.
Josh.
No, right the way down.
I don't understand
Right
that.
down
South
through-
South
You're out of
West.
Australia. He works for a company
So
called
it's like
We're not
you've got
They
contact
do
with people,
electrical
But
safety.
it'd be the same one, isn't
It's
it?
like you do yourself.
Leading, but Sharon Cross as well. Eileen and Sharon both come down to some of the temporary
Yeah.
events, don't they?
So it's an important thing as well as these missed members. How could we perhaps bring them
Very
in?
South Wales, aren't they?
How is it up to CSEC to bring them in, or is it up to members with contacts to bring them in, or tell CSEC this is who you want to call?
Well, what we're thinking of doing, we've been really pushing, because we've hardly got anything in Oxfordshire, basically, it's us and junior citizens in quite a big centre. But we've actually now got a PCT to set up, and our first meeting is in July, a safety partnership. So, which I know, like West Midlands have got a safety partnership. So then we're going to start looking at who we invite to that, and it may be, and at the moment we're just looking at ourselves and the ambulance people and PCT, but maybe it should be that we should invite the local Southern Electric or the local electricity people as well to that, and then get CSEC to come down and talk to the group and try and get all those people to join to CSEC. I suppose that's, if you've got a safety partnership, which I think we are supposed to be doing in
Most areas
most
have
PCTs and
some
things,
kind
or
of-
councils are supposed to try and get a safety partnership together.
So to answer your question, really, I suppose it's a bit of both. It's
Yeah.
us spreading the word to people that we are in contact with and saying we think you would benefit from this, but also, like we've just pointed out to you, there is certain areas where we know that there are people missing. So other distribution companies, CSEC can then actively go, okay, well let's contact them. There's a certain section of people they're missing. Let's contact them and see if they are even aware of us. So I guess it's just a bit of both. Really.
So who is it in the electricity people who, what's your job that means that you can come to this?
I'm part of the public safety team.
Public safety team.
So it would be something along those lines. If you go on, there'll be a child